In this lesson, I come to you with an important warning. Beware of pseudo-synonyms. Well, to be aware of them, you have to know what they are, and they're a classic GRE trap for sentence equivalence. So what are these? Well, they tend to be easy words, and they're easy so that they distract you. You might gravitate toward those easy words you understand better and try to make them fit as the correct answer choices. But they also help you if you're being attentive, because if you see really easy words, you're going to be directed toward the tougher words, and you're going to double check those because often the tougher GRE level words are the correct answers in sentence equivalence. Now, pseudo-synonyms, true to their name, are not synonyms, but they are closely associated, so they can be mistaken for synonyms if you're not being attentive. Let me give you some examples. Optimistic and self-assured. Optimistic means hopeful about the future. Self-assured means confident in one's own ability. Well, you can be self-assured that you're going to be able to face a bad future you anticipate. So it's possible to be self-assured without being optimistic. Widespread and noticeable. Well, something can be widespread and invisible. Let's say there's some kind of microscopic organism that's in all the water in a lake. Well, that's widespread, but it's not really noticeable. So you can be widespread without being noticeable. Now, to be sure, you could be self-assured and optimistic. Something could be widespread and noticeable, but they don't have to be. Again, notice that these are these simple words. And to double check when you're seeing those simple words and gravitate toward them, do a specific litmus test, which I've just walked you through. Can something be one thing without being the other? And if it can, then those are not true synonyms. Pseudo-synonyms can also be tested by looking in a thesaurus. A thesaurus, if something can be A without being B, will not list those two things as synonyms. Now, pseudo-synonyms are associated, so you can say, they more or less mean the same thing, they kind of mean the same thing, but don't tell yourself that on the GRE, because the GRE simply requires a lot more precision. The things have to mean the exact same thing. So let's look at some examples. Here we have an example where somebody's working poorly because they spent a lot of energy, and now they are lethargic, physically tired. Or for the same reasons, they are apathetic, uncaring. Well, can't you not care about something but still otherwise have energy? And can't you be exhausted but still care enough to keep trying to fight through that exhaustion? Absolutely. This example does not pass the litmus test for true synonyms. It is a pseudo-synonym. Another pair of pseudo-synonyms, knowledgeable versus skilled. You can be knowledgeable about something, know a lot about it without being skilled. Maybe you're a critic of symphonic music, or you've studied it academically, but you've never composed it. For that matter, maybe you have this natural talent for composing symphonic music, but don't know a lot about the history of it. So this example, also pseudo-synonyms, doesn't pass that is it a synonym test. Finally, we're going to look at a full question as an example. And what I want you to do is see if you can weed out the pseudo-synonym in the process of looking for the answers. So pause the video and we'll come back and take a closer look at this. Welcome back. Well, the pseudo-synonym might not jump out as obviously wrong immediately. So let's look at the obviously wrong ones first. We do have overlooked and scholarly and controversial with some weak associations with the passage. There are some keywords that might link to the meanings of these words, but these words are not synonymous with each other or anything else. So you can eliminate them by virtue of that. This brings us down to ample, extensive, and frequent. Well, ample and extensive both mean great in quality in this context, in the context of written work. Great in quantity, rather. Frequent. Well, frequent means happening at rapid intervals. But if something happens frequently, that doesn't necessarily mean it's great in amount. There could be frequent, very small pieces of writing, just 2 or 3 frequent pieces of writing. Over time, frequent writing will probably become ample and extensive, but something can be ample and extensive without being frequent, and vice versa. So that is the false synonym. So, to recap, we've got ample and extensive as the answers, frequent as the false synonym, and the other answers not being synonymous. So hopefully this has helped. I really do think practice and reinforcement is very important when it comes to pseudo-synonyms. So next, we're going to do a whole lesson where we just practice with pseudo-synonyms more. This is a very common trick on the GRE. You want to make sure that it's second nature for you to navigate this.